Hi guys, Paul here.
With Mike.
PA Brew News, mixing with the Maniacs Meat goodness. We got beer reviews, we got things, we got movie reviews, we got everything. And today, we've got Dark Heritage. Dun dun dun. Well,
That's right.
see, I never knew anyone really knew about this film. So I brought this over to Michael, and he's like, did I get you my copy? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh shit. And he pulled out his. So we both have Dark Heritage. And I'm like, dun dun dun.
Which surprised the hell out of me.
This is a film I talked with Hook a little bit a while ago. Because we were talking, he was kind of reminiscing. And he was like, oh, there's like a sky and it has eyes in it, you know. I'm thinking like the Dark Half. The Dark Half has that kind of same.
Yeah, you start like thinking like anything that's got like the eye.
And I'm like,
stuff.
Wait a second. Dark Heritage. Okay, so first time watch for me because I just bought it. I haven't had it in a long time, and I bought it, and I remember this over at the movie thing, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember it.
I actually had never seen it until I picked it up.
This was over at Powerhouse Video from 1992 in Berwick. Yeah, that's the last time I watched this, and I can't remember it at all.
I had never remember. I don't ever remember watching this or seeing it anywhere. I was at Main Street Video Games in Bloomsburg, PA.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. 7-ish years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through. It was actually when they were still at their old place.
Yeah,
and I pulled it off of the shelf. I think it was in the $3 section. And I was just looking for stuff, and I was like, Dark Heritage, like, let's see what that is. And as soon as I flipped it over, it says, an uncredited adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's Lurking Fear. And I was like, I'm grabbing that.
Yep.
And that was why I bought it.
When I buy films, right, I go, like,
yeah,
just open. I don't go, oh, let's read all this. I just do the same thing with a beer review. I just put it in. And I'm watching this, and I go, and I just hear these little, because I'm doing something else at the same time. You know, I'm multitasking because it was my one night off, so I try to binge watch as much as possible. And the more I'm hearing, I was like, this sounds exactly like The Lurking Fear from H.P. Lovecraft. Mm. And, you know, because my DVD is like 20 feet away from me. I just watched the thing. And I'm like, God, this is fucking Lovecraft, you know. And then, of course, I pick it up and read it. I'm like, yes, it is, you know, the whole deal. And so I brought it over here because we weren't sure what we were going to do tonight. And I wanted Michael to watch it because he's a Lovecraft fan. I'm a Lovecraft fan. And this, so far, spoiler alert, is one of the greatest adaptations of a Lovecraft film.
Good.
And then that's when he blew my mind by bringing this, like, this. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, nobody talks about this film.
As soon as you brought it over, I was like, I know, I thought about talking to you about that, but I didn't realize I had given you my copy of it.
Right.
And you were like, no, this is mine. And I'm like, what? And I went and I checked my shelf, and I was like, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah. And like, because I've never heard anyone talk about this film.
Never.
Ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
Hook and I, about a couple months ago, after I already had this in the mail coming to me and stuff like that, we were shooting the shit about stuff. And he brought up, though, I don't know what it was called, but the eyes and the things and all that stuff. And we were talking. I'm like, Dark Heritage. He's like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I'm like, whoa, fuck. So, again, it's one of those ones, like, I've talked to a lot of people in the horror genre and stuff, and some of you that watch this probably go, oh, I've known about that film for a long time. Yeah. I get that. But in the overall aspect, nobody talks about this fucking film.
No, it's not even really mentioned as far as, like...
if you look at H.P. Lovecraft films online, it's not even on there.
I don't think it's brought up.
Yeah.
Because, like, we were kind of talking a little bit earlier, like, you'll see Dagon.
Well, remember we were talking about
Dreams in the Witch
I let
House.
you watch The Resurrected.
See Resurrected, which I really enjoyed. Yeah. You'll see those films,
but even a lot of people have never even watched The Resurrected.
Dark Heritage.
Yeah.
And you know, the only reason when I pulled it off the shelf, I pulled it off and I was looking at the front and I'm like, this looks like a low budget horror thing, and I'm like, I'm like, it's good, which I do appreciate, but I'm like, I'm gonna check it out, make sure it's not anything that's like seems too like, I don't know, hokey or just something I might not be into. And as soon as I saw the H.P. Lovecraft, I was like, holy shit, I never heard of this one.
Let's do this.
Let's give it a
whirl.
whirl.
Let's give it a go.
I will say the only difference that I noticed was I got my copy, and the DVD as you can see, is a reddish pink color,
and mine is
and Paul's is gray.
Gray. So mine's more cult.
More cult. Yours is more cult. Mine's
a little more cult. Yeah. Cult and grim.
But yeah, I thought that was so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That you brought Dark Heritage over.
It's great. And we have the same thing. In my special features, it has interactive menus, a selection region free.
Yeah, it's the same
thing in mine is. So
it's exactly the same except for the color.
These are official releases. They are official releases.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and that's the coolest thing is like, we just randomly picked, he got into a mom and pop shop. I got online and we pulled official releases from 1989. Obviously, the DVD's not from 89, but the film is from 89. It's great. This 2003 release is yours, so 2003 as well.
I would imagine.
And this is 2003
Peacock
release.
Films.
Peacock Films, awesome stuff. Like, really glad to have it. Watch this. This will be, if you're an H.P. Lovecraft fan, if you know The Lurking Fear. The names, none of the names are the same. They changed the names for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, what happens, I've noticed it kind of seems to happen in some of Lovecraft
They
stuff.
do.
As they kind of like...
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're going to make it our own.
Do you worry about, I mean, do they worry about, like, copyright infringement or things?
I don't think it's necessarily copyright infringement. I think it's just probably more of a thing. And I'm clearly all speculation.
Yeah, right.
But
I mean, like in From Beyond, they still call the guy Tillinghast.
Yeah,
and
I think they're kind of like, we're gonna make it our own kind of.
Well, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this.
A little bit.
Either you completely embrace the Lovecraft, or you kind of make it your own.
Yeah.
Like, do you either do this or do that? Like, because I know, like, if you do a Lovecraft film and you embrace it, they try to name drop everything.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then they try to name drop nothing.
I guess it just depends on how hard you want to go. Like, this is clearly
this is clearly, and honestly,
they named it Dark Heritage. Like, they didn't name it The Lurking Fear. That's the thing. I think that's the
later we are going to do a side by side of Dark Heritage and Lurking Fear with Jeffrey Combs.
Amazing.
Technically speaking, if you put the films side by side, I wish they swapped the names, because I could buy this as The Lurking Fear. Yeah. I cannot buy The Lurking Fear of that. That's a horrible movie. It's nowhere near the book. You know what I mean? The story. Mm-hmm. If they called that Dark Heritage, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they called this Dark Heritage. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
as opposed, like the question is this a Lovecraft adaptation, or is this a Lovecraft inspired film? Like, is this a film?
This is a Lovecraft adaptation.
This is way more of an adaptation. Like,
Lurking Fear is more a adaptation.
Excuse me. I fucked it up. But I think you're right. Like, I think that's kind of where you figure out how it's going to be as far as like name changes.
When they did the Lurking, I mean, we're not talking about this right now, but when they did the Lurking Fear with Jeffrey Combs, they were riding on Love and Reanimator. They were riding on From Beyond. They're riding that coattail of Jeffrey Combs being in Lovecraft shit.
Jeffrey Combs is awesome.
You know what I mean? But they still could have called it Dark Heritage.
Yeah.
And they still should have called this fucking Lurking Fear.
And that's, I think, what it comes down to a lot.
Here's the thing is, though, like,
or an adaptation of.
Did they feel they didn't do a good job?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they had.
Honestly, to me, when I watch this, it's not perfect, but it's so goddamn close.
See, this says adaptation.
Yeah.
But
an uncredited adaptation, which I do. You know what? It would be great to find an original box of this film from 1989 and see what they wrote on it.
Yeah, because I like.
Could you imagine if they didn't write anything about Lovecraft at all?
I mean, I don't know what the copyright laws were like, which is something we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah, in the 80s it was different too.
But maybe they couldn't get full copyright laws to do this.
Yeah.
So they were like, we'll make it an adaptation, and they changed the names.
Yeah. The story's the same,
and alter it just enough that they can get away with it, but it's very clearly the Lurking Fear.
Now, what don't you like about the film?
What don't I like about the film? There's not a lot I don't like about the film.
It's a little dark.
A little dark. That was right where I was going to go. The first time I watched this movie was on a picture tube TV, and I couldn't see shit.
Right.
And it drove me crazy, and it actually kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for a while with this film because I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, same thing with 1981 Scream. It's so goddamn dark. I can't even do it.
Having to do the rewatch of it tonight when we were hanging out and everything, and watching it on a high def TV with better color and all that stuff, way more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Way more enjoyable. See everything a lot more. It was just more pleasant experience.
In the second scene after the campers get killed, and there is a section there, and they're doing a news report from local area and stuff. The newscaster, I don't know who he is, and I apologize. It could be the director. You shit. You're so bad.
You know what it reminded me of? When we did...
he reminded me of Napoleon Bonaparte. Or was that Napoleon Dynamite?
I think Dynamite. But when we watched... the one with the sweaty guy.
The one with the sweaty guy.
The guy that was just always sweaty. The cops. Oh, God. It was... we just did it for a Maniacs Fresh Meat. Like,
he's always sweaty. Oh, shit.
I almost had it. That. It reminded me of that. It's your boy who he was an alcoholic. Oh, God damn it.
Wasn't a Johnny Russo film, was it?
I don't think it was John Russo. It wasn't John Russo. It was
always sweaty.
With there's the morgue, and they went down, like he had the I'm kind of going on a tangent.
Well, I just did a mortuary with Bill Paxton too, so it's not that because I did that with another one.
Bill Paxton.
There's and he's always sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Joe Spinell.
Joe Spinell. That's what I was thinking. Joe Spinell. I could hear you saying him in my head.
You're thinking about Joe Spinell from The Undertaker.
Who doesn't love Joe Spinell? The Undertaker. Yes, it wasn't Undertaker, but it was
always sweaty.
It was the other one, but the guy with the there were parts of that reminded me of.
I would have paid serious money to have Joe Spinell.
God, I hate
do
it.
that
I can't
role.
Remember.
Actually, 1989 is when Joe died.
Crazy.
So he died that a little bit after that too. Yeah. So because that's when Dark Heritage and The Undertaker was released the same year.
I think so.
No, that was 87. It was released. It was done.
Dark Heritage was 89.
Yeah, this was 89, but it was like The Undertaker was done in 87 and then released in 89, the same year that he died, something like that.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting little back and forth there. So, what do you think? What's your favorite parts about the film?
Believe it or not, I actually really enjoyed some of the makeup, and once I could see it
is helpful.
Some of the lighting.
Yeah.
Because once you can see some of the lighting choices that they made in this, believe it or not, actually added a ton to this movie. When they're crawling through the tunnel.
Yeah, the light. Yeah.
There's spoilers, by the way. When they're crawling,
the strobe lights.
Yeah, when they're crawling through the tunnel and there's the strobe lights and like the cut scenes and stuff. They do a lot of really good jobs with I thought with cut scenes and some of the makeup effects and like flashes and like really utilizing their budget effectively.
I was gonna say they did a lot with what they had.
Yeah,
they did.
That's what I think it comes down to.
They had really a nice setting. They used it to the best of their advantage. I always thought the head of the press company guy, he was really good. I really liked him. He almost was like the good guy that you could always depend on. He turns out to be one of the biggest bad guys there ever was. I want to bang his wife for some reason in weird ways.
He's like super 80s kind of villain.
Yeah, oh my god. She sounds like a duck, a southern duck, and she's really ugly, and he has a southern duck.
Silhouetted though, she looks like Princess Leia.
She silhouetted. She got the little honey
things,
buns,
like the buns-esque things, and she's wearing a white robe, and I was like, it looks like Princess Leia, and you're like, wait until she gets. Because Paul's watched it way more recently than I have.
And you're like, whoa, okay, there you go. But I was gonna say, did I send you the Princess Leia one where I did the face swap?
Yeah, you just
I made it better. But it was one of those things that this film was outright fucking entertaining.
It's enjoyable,
and it wasn't funny entertaining. It was great. Like I really liked it. This film really did try to hit all the little parts of the lurking fear.
You know what kind of one of the things that kind of ticks me off is when you look at the back on this. I don't know how
it doesn't give credit either.
It does not give credit. Those stills that it uses
are not good
garbage.
Are garbage.
Are garbage for the film. or garbage for the film. But you know what's funny? This one right here on the side with the with the guy's face, the skeleton-y kind of guy's face. That effect in the actual movie, that makeup job is on point. Yeah, it was way good. Yeah. I'm really curious as to what the budget for this actually was, because
it's gotta be low.
Because some of these effects, like that makeup job, is killer when you're watching.
Well, the weirdest thing is in film, it is great. They made a bunch of masks, and all the beasts are wearing the same mask. So I don't know. And like the thing is, they tried to make sure there was albino hair, like old gray albino hair, and like you did a great job with what you had. It's like honestly, the Lovecraftian society that makes these new films now, The Whisper in Darkness and stuff like that,
which are enjoyable. From what I've seen of them,
this beats you guys though, because the budget, like the quality, like what they had to work with.
You know what beats them? The price. Because don't get me wrong, like I got this. Paul got his for what, $10? I got mine. It was listed in the $3 section, and because Hank was a baller, I got it for like $1.
Yeah, Whisper in Darkness is $60.
Yeah, you go to the Lovecraft Society. Don't get me wrong, like they're pretty well filmed. Like there is definitely money put into them.
Yeah, lots of it.
But like when you're spending $60 for like a 45-minute movie, that's some of them are silent. I think.
Yeah, well,
they're all black and white. A lot of
Call of Cthulhu is silent.
I'm not gonna lie, like it's a little bit of a I'd be kind of pissed. Like I'm not gonna do it.
I love Don Dohler, and there is a Don Dohler documentary called Beast, Boobs, and Blood.
Yeah.
But it's on YouTube, or not YouTube. It's on eBay for $68, and I'm not paying that price.
I will say that this movie is a 1 on the Paul factor for nudity.
Yeah, there's a 0 nudity in this, which
ranks it real low for Paul.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna get knocked.
I think we should definitely start doing like.
Where's Paul nudity scale?
What's your scale? Like, what's your rating? What's the normal person rating? And then the Paul trash level or something. We'll figure something out like that.
Because again, like Necrophiles is at least a 10.
Yeah.
And if you add like the nudity scale, it might be 11. Yeah. Like it's one of those like.
I just go to 11.
Yeah, I just turned it to Spinal Tap level. But this it lacks
pastel black.
It lacks nudity. Which, that first camper girl should have just been naked for no reason and yelling at the person, and then it would all been better.
But the quality is worth it. You know what, Mike? This was... No, never mind. I was about to stick my foot in my mouth.
But, investigative reporter Clint Harris uncovers a dark local legend about an exclusive dancing clan. The Martens was the original one. Who may be connected with the murders, determined to dig up the truth. Clint finds his buddies decide to spend the night in a stormy old abandoned Denance mansion, and they end up not coming back.
Probably chose the name Danson because it was the 80s.
Danson, Ted Danson, all the creatures had great mustaches. And and then there it is. But honestly, this film is, I would say, at least an 8 out of 10.
That's exactly what I was going to give it. I was going to give it an 8. I mean,
we're giving everything 8s right now.
Yeah, apparently. Because
I was gonna give it a 9 if it had tits, but it doesn't, so it has to get an 8.
I really enjoyed it. There's other Lovecraft films that for some reason I kind of like more.
This is watching it now, one of my almost second favorite Lovecraft films.
Like I enjoyed Resurrected.
You like Mouth of Madness.
I like Mouth of Madness a lot, which isn't actually it's a Lovecraft inspired film.
Yeah.
I think when we were talking about the inspiration versus like
I would watch this over Mouth of Madness any day. I like Resurrected though.
But like Resurrected, I would take over this.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna.
I like Dunwich Horror.
I'm not even gonna put In the Mouth of Madness in the same category because I feel like this is more of a direct
thing. Dunwich Horror, From Beyond, those direct things.
I would probably I would definitely take I think I would definitely take Resurrected over this. As far as Resurrected had the same kind of feel as this.
If I put the two and two together, which I would rather actually watch this again because it was just a more easy, fun watch. But putting the two films together, I would pick Resurrected.
Yeah. That's where I go.
Resurrected
I really like this.
When you put in Resurrected, you have to make sure that you have all night and you're going to focus on Resurrected.
Yeah, it is. It is something that
this is one that you can just put in and just do other
right.
things while you're doing it, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
not to get off on it, but Resurrected, when you watch it, like you do want to focus. You
got to focus because there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, because if you miss something, because I did it the first, because I watched it twice.
Well, when you have the Dr. Ash Joseph Kerwin thing, and then you have the Dexter's Ward.
Yeah, I put it in and I didn't. Like the first time I watched it, I wasn't giving it my full focus, and I was like, I am missing, like, because I would, as I was doing stuff, I was like, I missed something, like, damn it, and like, and then when I watched it a second time, and I was like, I'm actually gonna focus on this. Really,
that's the other thing I can say about this though. When the murders happen, they happen quick.
They do.
I mean, it's literally boom, boom, boom. Why just missed something? Because I woke up, everyone was gone.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
And they don't go a lot into special effects.
No. But the effects were great.
It works
the effects
great.
were good.
Because the thing is, in the story, when the people disappear, they disappear without a trace. It's not a big bloodbath or anything like that. So this works perfectly well. Everything works. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it does have a little flaws. It's not going to be for everybody. But... let's give it the 2 ratings. This is not a Trashy Tuesday, so we'll have to go our 2 rating scale for the average moviegoer. What would you give this?
Moviegoer.
3?
4.
3.
I was gonna go 4.
3. So
I almost said 5, but I'm like, I'm giving it too much credit. 4.
3.5.
4. And that's being generous.
Yeah. Horror fan.
7. Lovecraft fan
10.
9.
It's one of those kind of deals, like
8 or 9.
It's one of those ones where there's definitely different markers.
Yeah, depending on what you like. This
average horror fan, I would give this a 3. This is something that average person. This is definitely a 3. Average horror fan, I think 7.5 is perfectly reasonable because you said 7.5. 7.5, definitely a standard horror film textbook. You'll really enjoy it.
Better than your
generic,
mainstream
absolutely.
horror film.
Lovecraft, that's when you're getting into the 8+ category.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because you're gonna be geeking out while you watch it, going yes.
They're killing it. They're doing great stuff.
Yeah, you're doing it. You know, that kind of thing. And I think that's where this film definitely lands. A Cornerstone Film presents. And Cornerstone Films, I don't know if they ever made another.
And a 10 out of 10 for finding somebody else that actually has
10 out of 10 to see 2 copies in the same film.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. That's not awesome. Since they were published, has there been 2 copies in the same room?
Yeah, they've touched each other since they actually were produced. So there you go. It's like, hey, it took 13,000 years or something like that for horses to come back to America where they actually came from for the first place because the Spaniards came back, but the native population killed them all. So there you go.
Yeah, if you see a copy of Dark Carriage laying around, pick it up. You'll enjoy it. I mean, I probably wouldn't spend more than $10 on it to be. Well, maybe that's not necessary.
No, I would definitely. I'd spend $20 easy. Having
watched it, yeah, like I could see us being like. Especially if
you see this for $20 or under, pick it up.
But I can't imagine that you would be anywhere. Like if people have this, they're not going to be charging a lot for it because they're not going to realize. Like I said, like I bought it for. It was in a $3 section, and I got it for like $1 because I knew I've gone there so much.
I would easily pay $20 for this again. Like if this copy just vanished in my hands, I would go out and pay $20 for this.
I sell my copy to Paul for $15,
and there we go.
Make a $14 profit.
I have enough for a pint of beer.
Exactly.
So there it is. So yeah, but this has been Paul
and Mike.
ManiacsMeat Podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for some more probably Lovecraft stuff.
Yeah, you want to do some more Lovecraft
and cannibal hookers.
Do cannibal.
Absolutely. Watch that finger. Here it comes. Bye bye.